If you have faith as a mustard seed, you can tell a mountain it will be moved. There's a scripture in the Bible that refers to the mustard seed. And I've heard many pastors, preachers, authors, coaches, YouTubers talk about faith as a mustard seed. And I wanted to go on my own journey of reading into what mustard seed faith is, right? Like faith as a mustard seed. And what I found was nothing like I had originally learned as a child, and even later watching some coaches talk about faith as a mustard seed. And it's not at all what I discovered. And I want to share this with you because I know a lot of people feel like they want to have faith and they don't have faith, or they're trying to have faith, or what's the difference between faith and believing in something is true. All of these kind of terms get really commingled, and I'm going to do my best in this video to simplify what faith really means, and having faith as a mustard seed, because it's so small, many think that that's all it takes. All right, so stick with me. You're going to enjoy this video, and I intend that it helps you focus and normalize what having faith is. So welcome, my name is Rose, and welcome to The Rosey Life, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart so you live a life that you love. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me, you can go to TheRoseyLife.com. All the information is below. Or you can join the Rosey Life course and community, where I show up every single Wednesday to answer all of your questions live. Whether you make it live or not, you write them in the forum and I answer them. And if you're live, you also you can put on the hot seat. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is like amazing, because the Rosey Life course and community, not only do I answer all your questions live and I dive deeper into different topics that you all bring up to the community, but sometimes there's only, depending on, there's different people in different countries and different time zones, so not everybody can make it all the time on Wednesday at noon Central Time. But I do record those videos and you get your questions answered all the time. But sometimes there's only one or two people that show up, and that person has me all to themselves for the entire hour. Or sometimes there's many people that show up, so it really varies week to week. So your ability or potential to have one-on-one coaching with me every week is really high through the live video. When it's not live video, but that is how it is. So if you're interested in that, that is a most affordable way to get coaching with me. You pay one fee and it lasts an entire year. There's no monthly fee. So all the information about that is below. So faith as a mustard seed. Now, like I said, I've heard many pastors, preachers, teachers, mystical teachers. I've read in many books. This verse is very famous and is quoted quite a bit by many people, many authors. And I noticed that when I would hear it, there's always like some slight variation to it. And there's a lot of information or descriptions about it. And I know that everybody's doing their best and trying to just, help whoever's reading their book or watching their video, is trying to point them or help them understand that they're the ones in charge, that you don't have to fully believe anything. And sometimes the information comes across a little confusing for me, and maybe it hasn't been that way for you, but I'm making this video for those of you who would like further clarification on what faith of a mustard seed is, and this is what I discovered for myself. So I wanted to share this with you. So the scripture is in Matthew 17:20. All right, if you have faith of a mustard seed, and the verse continues and it says, you can tell a mountain to move and it will move. So mountain represents like some big seeming impossible scenario or situation or circumstance or condition in your life. It could be a health problem. It could be anything you desire. It just feels like this is ridiculously impossible given the circumstances. You've heard that phrase before, right? Well, think about circumstances. God, the I am, does not even see circumstances. Just you are pointing out the circumstances. You're saying, look, but that is impossible because of that. Look what's happening. Look, it's happening. It's real. And that is only you, because that power within you, like I said in yesterday's video, does not care if you plug a toaster or a Tesla into it. It delivers. And you are the one that's saying it's impossible based off of what you see, touch, hear, smell, taste, your senses. So, and Neville says, even many times, a lot of spiritual teachers say that you deny your senses, that when you close your eyes, and it doesn't even matter if you close your eyes or not, but when you go within to imagination, that you shut off the senses, meaning you shut off what you see, touch, hear, smell, and you go within where you are communing in prayer with the I am, with that power within. And with imagination, you are directing it using your will. As I mentioned yesterday, you are directing the power by deciding what it is that you want, either with an assumption, an affirmation, or an imaginal scene, a visual, right? That is you directing your power. And you go within and you're shutting off the senses, meaning despite what seeming impossible mountain is in front of you, you are saying, this is what I choose. You don't have to even give the circumstances your attention. You don't have to even validate them or disvalidate them. They just are there. They're there. But despite them, you are saying, this is who I am. And that actually brings me to the word faith. Faith is a choice, a decision to have or be something despite what you see. And you insist and persist, rather, not insist so much as persist, right? But you persist in choosing that thing that you desire to have or be despite circumstances, despite that impossibility of a mountain. Despite it, you continue to choose it and declare, this is who I am. That's different than belief, because belief says that you have this 100% unwavering belief, and belief is not even required of any of us to have whatever we desire. So we have faith. And now let's get into faith of a mustard seed. Faith is a choice, a declaration that despite what you see, you declare this is who you are, knowing that these 3D conditions have to conform and yield to this choice that you're making in faith. Faith is a choice that you continue to choose despite what you see, despite what you feel. Because I know some of you are feeling just, having a really hard time seeing and hearing things that you don't like, and you're experiencing these things in your reality, and you're just like, it's hard to say this is mine when I'm seeing the opposite. But that's where faith comes in, is you continue to choose it. So faith of a mustard seed, this is what we're going to get into. I don't remember, it doesn't really matter, but I remember hearing some other coaches talk about that. Think about how tiny a mustard seed, that's all the amount of faith that you need. Well, that's a one way to describe it, but what I found was much easier and deeper. And it's not that you just need a little faith, because remember, faith is just a choice that you continue to make over and over again in your imagination or assumption. You hold on to that assumption that it is who you are. Now, I drew this little person. That's you, right? And within us, we have infinite amount of seeds. Okay, let's call all of those little dots, they're all little seeds. We have infinite, and every single one of those seeds represents another desire that you have. Some that you are aware of now, and some that you're not even aware of yet, or some that you have been aware of in the past. But you have infinite amount of seeds, right, waiting to hatch, waiting to be chosen and then to bloom, okay? So that's what infinite possibilities, infinite potentials, infinite parallel realities, right? That's what it also implies here, right? That we have so many seeds within us. They're already done. Everything you can imagine, it's already within us, and we just have to select a seed and have faith by choosing that, and then it comes forth, it unfolds like flower, right? So And now over here, my little diagram, every single one of those seeds, remember we have infinite, billions upon billions of seeds, okay? But every single seed that is within you, right? And not in your tummy, okay? It's just within your imagination, okay? But I just wanted you to have a visual, okay? So every seed contains its own thoughts, its own feelings, its own actions or inspired actions, and it contains the how it will unfold. So again, every seed that you have represents a desire, and every seed contains its all-inclusive. I call them all-inclusive resorts, right? Like all-inclusive, you get everything. Everything's already there. You don't have to do anything extra. Once you're there, you're there, right? And once you select a seed, you're there. It already is going to download you thoughts, because remember, your will begins and ends by selecting the seed or selecting the desire or the reality or the state, right? So once you select it, you're done. And now the law begins to move through you, as you, with thoughts, with feelings, with actions, and the how. It's all contained in every single little seed. Now, this is so important because so many of you are saying, but what about what am I feeling and my thoughts and what is inspired action and then the how? And you think, oh, well, I understand the how is not my problem and that's not for me to figure out, right? And you might get trapped in there and some of you may not, but you're still looking at inspired actions. You're still wondering why you feel this. You're still wondering why you're thinking this, right? Because you're still, when you select a seed, we're going to get into this really deep, okay? When you select a seed and you have faith, meaning you continuously choose it, right? These thoughts, feelings, actions, and the how may or may not happen instantly. With your persistence in the selection of that seed, you will. And the how much time, it's different for every seed and every person, right? Even Neville said, if it be long, wait, right? And is sure to come. But we know what wait means now. It doesn't mean time, wait. It means to become one in union with your seed, one in union with your desire, to bond, to unify with I am, which is in the seed actually waiting for you to persist and choose it. So everything, all your seeds, after you choose it, they're just waiting for you to align with it, to choose it, to persist it, despite appearances, okay? Now, every seed has its thoughts, feelings, actions, and the how built in to that seed. And remember, it's a little seed that signifies that you have the ability to sprout this seed. How? Okay, so each seed, the other thing I want to talk about too is each seed is not touched by the others. And I wrote kids' plates because I wanted to give you guys another analogy. So do you know some kids and adults actually I've met, but a lot of kids, they don't want their food touching on the plate, right? They don't want their chicken nuggets touching mac and cheese or the mac and cheese touching their broccoli, right? God forbid veggies touch their golden mac and cheese or nuggets. So they want everything separated, which is why they have those little trays that have little slots for all their food, right? And some people are very picky and they don't want their food touching because they're afraid that if the broccoli touches the mac and cheese, then they don't want it because now the mac and cheese is going to taste like broccoli. Do you see? So I want you to look at all your seeds, all your desires. They don't touch each other, right? They don't touch each other, meaning they're unbothered. They're not affected by the other, okay? So they don't touch each other. So in other words, the seed, the desire that you have chosen, right? It's unbothered, unaffected by the conditions and circumstances of the current seed that you are looking at. It doesn't care, or it doesn't have any conditions. It's not scathed, it's unbothered, it's unfazed by the seed that you are currently in. And the seed that you've chosen within, right? It doesn't care. it's going to sprout its own little life, its own thoughts, its own feelings, its own actions, its own how. But you're thinking that how is the current, what I'm seeing, going to fold in, conform or unfold into the new seed, right? How's that going to happen? Because what I'm looking at and what I've known, it just feels impossible, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is one seed is unaffected. One desire is unaffected by the other. So it doesn't matter if we're talking about people and personalities and versions of people, financial circumstances, your physical health, all of it. When you choose a desire, it is unaffected by all conditions. It doesn't care. It takes a life of its own, because remember, each seed contains its own how, its own actions, its own feelings, its own thoughts. And I like to also refer to a cat only knows it's a cat, right? A cat doesn't walk around thinking, I'm a dog, right? A dog is a dog. A bird is a bird. A flower is a flower, right? Everything only knows itself as what it is. So it doesn't see itself something else. That's why animals are a perfect example too, because they instinctually have inspired actions as a cat to chase a mouse, to jump up on something high, to ignore you when you want to pet it, right? Or whatever. And a dog, right, will fetch and is happy to see you. And it just farts in front of you. It's a dog. And it doesn't sit there and judge itself for being a dog and farting in front of you. It doesn't sit there and judge itself for licking your leg, right? A cat doesn't judge itself for pooping in the litter box and saying, oh my God, does it smell? It doesn't care, because it only knows itself to be a cat. And that is what a mustard seed reference in the Bible is saying. If you have faith as a mustard seed, right? So faith, you keep choosing to only identify with that version of you, that seed. You choose, you continue to choose, and only see yourself as that version of you, despite the circumstances, despite what you're seeing. That is faith. So you are saying, I am that seed, despite what I see. I am that seed. That is who I am. I am that desire. And that desire is unmoved by all the other seeds around it, by all the other circumstances that are floating around. It's unmoved. It has no clue that the other seeds even exist. Do you see? It has no clue. It's just like, so you are the one that says the other seeds exist out, and they're going to touch each other, and one is going to affect the other, and then the circumstances in this seed is going to have to somehow affect the other ones. That's just you, because the desires, the seeds don't even think that way. It just grows. It goes. Okay, so you move and identify as that seed within. That is what your job is to you move and identify as that seed within. So we water the seed. So imagine like a little seed that you plant in a pot, right? Well, in order for it to grow, you water it, right? So we water that seed by focusing on that, by having faith, by continuously choose it, and that's how you water it. And then before you know it, it grows. But while it's under the ground and it's developing sprouts, you're not seeing that on the surface. You're not seeing any signs that it's moving. You're not seeing any signs that something's going on under the ground, but it is. And how? Because you have that faith of continually having that faith as a mustard seed. I only see myself as this. And then before you know it, it sprouts. So don't judge by the surface. Don't judge the 3D. Don't judge what you see going on out in front on the top, because that's just appearance, right? Don't judge the 3D, because it is your Play-Doh, right? Your life, the 3D is like Play-Doh, and that's what their story is about in the Bible, about going into the potter's house, right? The 3D, look at it as Play-Doh. Like, you get to mold it and shape it and move it and make it into whatever you want to do based off of what seed you choose and desire to experience. So because when you continue to water it, right, it will manifest. right? Because you only see yourself as that. And then the other seed that you were living in, it's just no longer viable. So it just goes away back into another possibility of a seed again. So it will unfold just like a flower, right? It starts as a little seedling, but it will slowly grow. And slow doesn't mean time. It doesn't take time, right? Because remember, everything has its appointed hour. And so your only job is to continuously be faithful to that unseen seedling that you have chosen. This is my desire, and nothing else will do. So a little fun fact too, because I got really nerdy and curious about mustard seeds. And mustard seeds, right, are not actually the smallest seed in the world. I read that the smallest seed in the world is actually a seed for some special orchid, but who knows about the size, right? But a lot of people think that mustard seed is the smallest seed in the world. So, however, mustard seeds, however, are so cool. Like I was reading that people actually today take them still as a nutrition supplement. And because they have antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory properties in them, and also read another article about it has anti-cancerous potential in there. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I was just Googling this as a nerdy person, so don't go off taking seeds without, asking your own doctor. So, but I thought it was really cool that a seed that tiny has so much power. That's what my point of doing that little research about seeds is, that little mustard seed has so much potent power. Being so damn tiny, it has so much potent power in it to actually have these healing remedies in your body, yet it is so tiny, right? So it's not that you have faith as tiny as a mustard seed, right? It's that the mustard seed only knows itself to be a seed and nothing else. And that little mustard seed blossoms into a bush or a tree. I don't know if it's a bush or tree, but either one, right? But that seed only knows itself to be a seed and nothing else. A cat only knows itself to be a cat. Same thing. Your desire, when you select your desire, you only identify with that desire and nothing else. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing to The Rosey Life. Thank you so much for being here and allowing me to be a part of your days. And I just love being here for you guys and sharing with you my discoveries. And as I am expanding my awareness, I intend that you all are expanding your awareness and having the most amazing life that you love being in. All right, my loves, I'll see you soon because you're all freaking amazing. Bye.